Hello everyone, this is War Doctor coming to you with another installment of Operation Failsafe. This is turn 5.6, U.S. Pacific Command, and Knights Templar had a really good turn last turn, and China did not, it appears, have a very good turn from my point of view. We're going to see if we can turn around or redeem the loss of my entire fleet here, and see what we got. So let me just roll on over here. This is the status as I see it. Oh, I forgot to move up the nuclear marker to 5 like it's supposed to be. There we go. This is tech. Guys, let me know if I have anything incorrect there. So let's start out with my buys. So, switching it up for military aid this turn. I had some spare change. So instead of the 1 left over I had last time, I had 2. So I'm deciding to send my Taiwanese comrades a mechanized infantry. For the rest of my buys, I've got my missile production, a destroyer for 6. I'm finishing the cruiser that Ozark Outpost started for me for 4. And I'm purchasing 2 Marines for 8. So let me just move these guys out of the way. All right. I have 5 combat moves this turn. And I will get through them pretty quickly. So, first off, I am going to be moving a nuclear submarine from P-28 over here to P-38. And this guy up here in P-21, which I don't think you can quite see, to P-18. And both of them will be firing anti-ship missiles into here against the Soviet fleet. Now, because we have precision-guided munitions, I get full target select against these guys if any of them hit. Knights Templar gets 1 anti-ship missile shot from his cruiser. So that will be pretty simple. The second move I've got this turn, from Guam, we're moving out with a air superiority fighter as an escort and a strategic bomber to fire 2 cruise missiles at the minor airbase here in Philippines. So that is attack number 2. Now things get a little complicated. So it's off camera, but down here in P-66, I have a frigate and a destroyer. They are going to move from P-66 up to P-62 off camera to P-53 and here into P-45. They're going to be joined by the other nuclear attack submarine in P-28, 1, 2, down to here. The fighter from Okinawa is also going to join them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And if that weren't exciting enough, the Soviets, Knights Templar, have decided to scramble an air superiority fighter from this base into the battle. So we have a fight to the death here between these units, which are serving as a screening force for a moving force which is coming up behind them here. So let me load those guys up. Out of Guam, my amphibious assault ship and a pair of Marines and an attack helo, which, assuming this battle is successful, they will go on through to Singapore and attempt to win the day there. All right. Combat movement number 5 is this diesel electric sub from P-28 is moving down to P-37 and running a blockade, which I believe puts the air units here out of supply. So this all happens simultaneously, so he gets to scramble, but nothing good is going to happen here until he can get that guy out of his C zone. All right, so that is all my combat. I think what I want to do is move my dice tray up here for the first part of this. because I think we definitely want to battle board that screening battle. It's going to get a little complicated otherwise. So we will go ahead with that. Now, going down the line here, get a nice red die here for the Soviets. Okay, so let's start with this battle here. So Knights Templar gets one shot with his cruiser to try to shoot down an incoming ASM. And that is a miss. That's a 6. All right, so my 4 ASMs, 5 or less, full target select. But the last time I did 4 missiles, it did not go very well. Let's see if I can get some 5s or less this time. And I got 1 hit. But 1 hit is all I need to inflict some real damage here. So I'm going to target select the heavy aircraft cruiser. Now, that's important because this fighter here also has no place to land. So he is eliminated from the scene, as are these missiles. All right. All right, I'll take that as success. All right, so the next thing, we have got 2 cruise missiles going into here. Once again, I'll use some red dice. These are 4s or less. Each minor airbase, minor facility, basically functions like a SAM site. So it gets 1 shot at up to 3 incoming missiles once you have ABM, and the Soviets, of course, have it. So let's see if either of these go through. All right, it's a hanger, so I'll re-roll it. Okay, so 10 and 11. They both miss. So we're going to do either 2 or 4 damage, 2 to 4 damage. All right, so that's 2 damage on the minor airbase in the Philippines. Full chips for that. All right, so that's that. Attack number 2 is done. Those are the easy ones. Okay, so I will move this sucker to the battle board. I probably should have done it before, but it would have been confusing, I think. So getting all these guys over here, and then I will set up my phone. All right, moving the battle board back. So have our defender. He has a diesel electric sub, a fighter in air superiority, a ASW helo, which attacks at 3. I have my air superiority fighter, which will attack at 6 in the first round, a destroyer, a nuke boat, and a frigate. Okay, so attacker. All right, I'm going to roll my fighter, 6 or less. That is an 11, a miss. We have my frigate at 2. That is a 7, miss. Switch the dice. All right, so 2 4s. I have my, let's do the sub as the white. 11s, they all miss. Okay, so this could go very badly now. All right, Soviet air superiority fighter. That's a 10, that is a miss. And then we have 2 3s. I'm going to roll them once again. So white will be the ASW helo. 2 4s. Okay, so they miss. All right, my fighter is going to move over here to general combat now. And we will go for it again. All right, so frigate at 2. 3, super close. All right. Going to do the white as the sub again. 4s. Okay, got a 1 for destroyer. That is a sub-target select. So I will take it. Now the fighter. 6 or less. That is a 3. So I have 1 general hit. All right. Now, Air superiority fighter, 7 or less. That is an 11. It's a miss. ASW helo, 3, miss. Diesel electric, 3, miss. Okay, so Knights Templar wanted to lose his ASW helo first, so that will die. As well that. And we'll go again. All right. Frigate at 2. Miss. The submarine retires because it has no valid targets. Got my 4 here. That is a 3. That is the hit I needed. So he is a casualty. Air superiority fighter goes again. And that is an 8. That's a miss. Okay. So I finally got some of that Knights Templar luck. And this battle is a success. So I'm going to move my ships to the board over here. And move you guys back up here for what is a relatively simple, or should be, battle. So we'll take that off. All right, so we have these guys here. The moving force will now join them. These Marines in this attack helo will now attack Singapore. All right, so I'm going to move the dice up here. Dice tray again. Okay. Oh, darn. That went badly. Okay. Hopefully that did not break any pieces, but I'll have to see. I'll have to get a count again of everything. So we'll find out in a minute. Okay. All right. But continuing on. That little disaster, which probably has some pieces broken. All right. Let me double check Singapore. It is standard terrain, it looks like. So no mountain or anything to worry about. We have a Marine, Paramarines, attacking in amphibious assault without close air support. So they will be attacking at a 3, and my air cav will be attacking at a 4. So I will grab 2 dice and 1. And we'll see how this goes. All right, so one of my Marines hits with a 3, which is all we needed. And the paramilitary defends at a 2. That's a 6. So Singapore is recaptured. All right, so I'll be removing that and that. And Singapore is now returned to the glorious forces of freedom here. Okay, so there we are. All right. Now, gosh, I need to rebalance this. This keeps tipping. Okay, we'll have to find out how the forces of the Soviets fared over here. The Singaporeans really got massacred too. So, all right, sorry about that. Okay, let me go into non-combat mode now and get this out of the way. Okay, so the fighter is going to land on this amphibious assault ship and just hang out there. So that is that. I am going to sea lift 2 things this turn. So we have, let me move this up just a touch so you can see it. Have on Midway this guy, so 1, 2, 3 into Bonin. Off of Wake Island, we have the SRBM, which is going to go 1, 2, 3 into Tokyo's major port there. Okay, those are the 2 sea lifts. Airlifts. I have 2 of those as well. So from Queensland, I am airlifting a light infantry to Guam. Chip that guy up. And from Alaska, I am airlifting to Okinawa. Chip that guy up as well. Okay, there we go. since the fighter died with the heavy aircraft cruiser, I can now move this stranded air superiority fighter, and he is going to go 1, 2, 3 into Okinawa. There. All right. The lone frigate here in P28 that I'm allowed to control directly is going to move into P36. Wouldn't want those amphibious assault ships moving anywhere now, would we? And that is it. So I'm going to where did that go? I'm losing my mind here. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I'm going to place my purchases. So military aid delivery is going to go to Singapore. I've got to find where their build plate went. It went flying somewhere, and I have lost it. So once I've done that, I'll fix that. I'll give you guys the end of turn status later. Okay. So I have my 2 Marines going to West Coast. I have my cruiser being built and going into port in West Coast. My destroyer will park itself down in P66 off of Western Australia. And I will place these guys on my... I'm going to move this whole thing. I'll place these guys over here on my board. Okay. So, didn't deal with Singapore yet, but that means Soviets will go down 2 to 15, and I will go from 25 up to 27, I believe. I think that's right. But I will audit that at the end of the turn. So I'll put these guys on their respective spots. All right, the recapture of Singapore means these pesky 2 IPP of trade income are no longer an issue. So I believe that means I will be collecting 23. So 27 minus the 4 IPP for the oil tankers that are still causing us grief. So that is, I think, pretty good news for Pacific Command. And all in all, I think a pretty good turn. So, all right, everybody. Well, I'll clean this up and see if I can find my plate for these guys and send an order of battle to those that are playing. But thanks for watching. War Doctor, signing off.